People in two of Texas's largest cities joined in the anti-ICE protests last night. You're looking at both scenes right here on your screen. Austin on the right, that's where things got out of hand there. E-scooters were thrown across the road downtown, and people were seen knocking over traffic barriers. And then you have Dallas on the left side of your screen here. That is where police declared the gathering an unlawful assembly. Moments before our newscast, I spoke with Peyton May. She's a reporter from our sister station up in Dallas, KDFW. She shared hundreds of people gathered in a West Dallas neighborhood, Trinity Groves there, and there was at least one arrest.
The protest started at around 7 o'clock at night. It was in the west side of Dallas near the Margaret Hunt Hill Bridge. There was around 100 or so protesters there. It started very peacefully with signs, flags, and then things started to get pretty contentious, escalate a little bit throughout the night. There were water bottles that were thrown by protesters, small fireworks that were lit, and then in turn, we saw some pepper bombs that were fired by police officers. So the protest lasted between 7 o'clock at night, around that time frame, and then police were trying to get people out at around 10 o'clock at night. They said it was unlawful assembly, so they were giving people, a certain amount of time to leave the area.
Meantime, buses.
Forgive me, did you say about how many people were arrested or detained yesterday?
Hundreds. Well, there were hundreds that were there. There was only one person that was arrested. In terms of that person that was arrested, that's all that police have given us so far. They haven't said who that person is, what crime was committed. There's charges that are pending, of course. We don't know if there's other arrests that will be coming down the line later on. They've only given us one so far.
Was there any damage to any property or anything like that in the area at all?
Not that we know of right now. Of course, they're going to kind of open up a full investigation on that. I would assume down the following weeks we'll learn more about if there was any damage. Really at the time, though, it was more getting people out of the area was kind of the focus, because obviously if you have hundreds of people inside a very populated area of Dallas, it's moving people out, making sure everyone stays safe. So I think that was more of the focus of last night.
Yeah, I was going to ask, is this more so a heavily populated area of the city, more so a pretty popular neighborhood, you would say?
Yeah, I would say in terms of, being focused on a pretty populated bridge in the area, along with the fact Trinity Groves is the neighborhood in West Dallas. So there's, of course, businesses, neighbors nearby. So definitely a place that isn't probably normally heavily congregated or isn't heavily congregated with hundreds of people protesting. But I think that was probably why it was such a, focus on making sure that everyone in the area was safe when they were clearing it out in terms of saying it was unlawful assembly. Police wanted to make sure the area was clear.
Got it. Any response from police this morning, anything that they're saying this morning?
So we haven't gotten anything from police this morning. We do have a statement from ICE Dallas basically saying that they respect police. They respect people peacefully assembling, peacefully protesting to share their opinions, and then kind of talking about the officers that are on the street day in and day out, protecting them as well. So we haven't gotten any word from the mayor or local leaders so far. Of course, there were protests in Austin as well yesterday that Governor Abbott responded to that. No mention of the Dallas protest in his post on X, but it's pretty early in the morning and this happened well into the late night. So we're expecting to hear more of that today.